Well, I think that moves us into one of our favorite segments, shit we couldn't make up. And one of our favorite teams to make fun of is always the New York Mets, or as we like to call them, the New York Mess. They have definitely made some headlines over the last couple of weeks in this crazy free agent frenzy and the
Uh,
artificial December 1st deadline.
I mean, we do call them the mess, so they may think the deadline is real.
Yeah, you never
They
know.
certainly acted that way.
Well, this is a bit of an older headline, but we haven't done this podcast in a couple of weeks. But the first thing I want to bring up is the signing of or non-signing of Steven Matz, former Met, is not returning to the Mets. He's signed a 4-year, $44 million deal with the St. Louis Cardinals. Which doesn't seem very remarkable on the surface until you find out through the owner of the Mets, Steve Cohen, via Twitter, that he was very upset by this signing because the Mets were not allowed the opportunity to match that signing offer.
I'm
And
very, very upset. I'll be there with my shoes and my glasses. I'm upset about this signing. He lied to us.
is that your Jerky Boys?
That's my Jerky Boys. That's my Sal Rosenstein Jerky Boys. I mean,
That's
it
exactly how those tweets read, though, from Stephen.
they read like a breakup, like a scorned lover or girlfriend, well, he didn't even give me a chance to hear my side of the story.
Yeah.
Guess what? Matz didn't want to stay there anymore because your freaking organization is a disaster. How about that?
That's a conclusion I came to. But yeah, it seems like
Jeez.
as much as I hate St. Louis and hate the organization, you can say they do have some stability and are nothing like the New York Mets. I thought it's too much fun not to bring up, as we have chronicled throughout the years every ridiculous situation that involves the Mets. But
you know what it reminded me of, Smitty? It reminded me of the scene in Moneyball when Bean, Matt Damon, picks up the phone and it's a call from Damon's agent. Yeah. He picks up the phone from Damon's agent and he's like, "You said we had Damon for
Johnny Damon? I'm getting confused here.
In the Brad Pitt as Billy Bean picks up the phone from Johnny Damon's agent and is like, "You said I had him at 7.5. You played me." Blah blah blah. It just reminded me of that because that's how the owner of the Mets came out, like he had been played.
Except Billy Bean wasn't doing that over Twitter, basically.
No, he wasn't.
For the whole world to see. So
yes. That was a private conversation until the book and movie.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. You wonder about Stephen Cohen if he's just, the overactive social media guy, mega fan on social media that he is. He was such a fan, he bought the fucking franchise. He just can't control himself. Or if those are calculated texts because he knows they're going out to the world, they're going out to that player in particular, they're going out to other players. The whole world is seeing this. So I can't believe he doesn't realize that, or if he's that emotional that he just has to spout off on social media. And there has to be some calculation to it. You can't be that oblivious. But I think there was some speculation that would, that kind of activity out of your owner would make free agents shy away from the Mets going forward. But apparently that is not the case, as the Mets were able to spend over $250 million on 4 different free agents in this last month, and certainly made headlines. I can't even remember everyone they got. Obviously, the headliner is Max Scherzer, who signed a 3-year, $140 million deal, which is $43 million annually. I think he'd be the highest annual salary of anyone in the majors. Little surprising, Max would want to go to the Mets. Other than the money, he when he was being traded away from the Nationals, he wanted to go to a contender on the West Coast.
I know there's plenty of contenders on the West Coast for him to sign with.
Yeah, and that's where I thought he would eventually sign, but apparently money talks. Do you have the whole list? I've got the list here of everyone.
Well, we got Starlin Marte.
Yeah, I think, and that's a brilliant move. I mean, these are not bad moves by the Mets, especially when your owner is worth $16 billion, which is more than I think all the other owners combined. They've got the money to sign whoever he fucking wants. But Marte was one. The famous Eduardo
Yeah,
Escobar,
I
who
was just
should be
about to
a
say
Chicago White Sox,
he is
was
not a
fine.
White Sox. He's a
No.
Met. I think he probably got more than he should have, but whatever.
Mark Canha, of course,
But
from
yes, that's
from
a
the A's was the
that's
other
a
one.
nice
So
one.
totaling 254 billion or 254.5 million dollars. Their payroll for 2022 is going to be $265 million right now. That's before they've made all their final moves and gone through whatever arbitration cases they have. That is, I believe, 55 million over the current luxury tax threshold. So they have skyrocketed past that, and I don't see why they would worry about going even further over it later on. So, for better or worse, those actually, I mean, that's a interesting roster. That's a title contending roster that he put together with his money. We'll see if that pays out, as it often does not, but it certainly makes headlines, and it's fun for us to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, you got two of the best pitchers in the game starting off that rotation. How the rest of it's going to shape up, we'll see. But I mean, you lost the aforementioned Stroman and Matz, so
It
I
seems
don't
like
know.
teams built that way are always less than the sum of their parts somehow, for whatever reasons, and in New York in particular, over the last 15 years or so. I mean, you can add those big names and big salaries, but it doesn't automatically equal championships. But that is the Mets' strategic advantage or tactical advantage over every other team, is they have the richest fucking owner around. So if he decides now that he's throwing that money around, it could change the landscape of baseball, and that might be part of. We'll be talking about this in the off season. Might be part of what could drive some division within the owners' ranks.
Yeah,
Because there are some, even within, the owners are very strong in negotiations because they show a united front. They are in lockstep. You're seeing some serious potential divisions between the haves and have-nots, the major market teams and the smaller market teams. And now we have the mega market team with the Mets blowing everyone else out of the water. And he's literally doing that spending wise. So we might see some maybe differences of opinions within those owners. So.
Word Hole Media.